Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're joined now by Mr. Bisi Adegbuyi, who is the Deputy Director General of APC Campaign Organization in Ogun State. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, the tribunal did uphold the victory of Ogun State Governor, but clearly the APC, I beg pardon, the PDP, tongue twisting now, miffed about this. Mr. Show just leave it in terms of the particular prayers they went to court, the specific judgments. He thinks that they were manipulated.
Thank you. Let me start by saying that in everything we do, there must be order. I want to try to be orderly in presenting the facts of the matter to the general public. First, the tribunal verdict based on how facts and evidence were presented at the tribunal. Secondly, the politics of it. Shegun Showemi alluded to picture one governor taking photograph with John Ketty with the president intimidating people. Third, the unacceptable, obnoxious, and incomprehensible attack on judiciary based on the fact that the outcome of an election petition has not come your way. Now, the PDP petition was dead on arrival based on what is encapsulated in the Latin maxim of ex topisa casa non oritio actio, that out of an illegal act, no legal rights can emanate therefrom. And I will explain. They asked the tribunal to nullify some votes in 9 local governments. And then their candidate, GNI, Benga Isiaka, should be declared the winner. Now, if you allege that an election was marred and fraught with irregularities, and there was no substantial compliance with the provisions of the law, Constitution and Electoral Act, you cannot say that the same tribunal should declare you the winner based on an election that you have said was fraught with irregularities. Secondly, courts, tribunals are not Father Christmas. They will grant your requests or your prayers on the basis of what you have asked them to do. Did the petitioner in their case ask for a run? He did not ask for a run. And therefore, because the courts did not find that there were no substantial irregularities and there was no substantial conformity, because he came here, he was citing provision of section 140, subsection 2, that there must be substantial compliance with the provision of the electoral act. You must lead evidence to establish the fact that, yes, the provisions of the electoral act were not complied with based on so evidence. They asked that results in 179 votes, polling units, be cancelled, and they succeeded in leading very feeble evidence in about 29 out of 179, abandoning 150. If the tribunal has no evidence before it that there was substantial non-compliance and there were irregularities in the conduct of the election, how will the tribunal rule in your favor? What they are missing, and I saw Shegun was struggling. It's understandable because he's not a lawyer. And again, he failed to present.
He's a lawyer, I believe.
We can't be a lawyer and he will talk like that. Because you cannot just come here and say that because the law has provided that if there is substantial non-compliance with the conduct of an election, there must be automatic nullification.
No, he's saying that they adduced evidence, that they provided it, but the judge thought otherwise.
Evidence in what? I've just told you. This is their case. 179 polling unit results therefrom must be annulled. And you adduced evidence in 29 out of 179, abandoning about 140 something.
No, but
Now, do you expect the tribunal to go fish for evidence on your behalf?
Isn't that...
And then secondly,
Okay.
if you have not asked for a rerun, the tribunal can't grant that. If you're saying nullify this election based on the fact that there was substantial non-compliance, there were substantial irregularities, so you cannot say, declare me as the winner. Election petitions are sui generis. They are specialized legal matters. And therefore, you must know your onions. And secondly, no two election petitions are the same. It was making allusion to the fact that Ogun senatorial district election,
where they won.
The election of the governor of Ogun State and the election of the senator take place on the same day. Gubernatorial elections could be conducted in a way that would be compliant with the process of the law in all the wards and local governments of the state. The same may not be for National Assembly elections. I mean, recall that I addressed a press conference regarding the election of the imposter. Somebody was pretending to be the winner. And we went to tribunal, had used evidence of substantial irregularities in certain polling units. That's a different election.
I thought they said it was going to be
a rerun.
So he can't be described as an imposter.
Don't forget.
But you know he can't be described as an imposter.
Well, the fact of the matter is this. In Ogun Senatorial District, we know our audience. Allow me to talk law here, because we had discussed politics before election. This is after election. The point about Ogun Senatorial District election is this. Our candidate did not go to the tribunal to say, declare me the winner. You must note that difference. We asked for a rerun in places where there were substantial irregularities. And that is why the PDP senator is still leading by 5,000 votes. And elections will be conducted in areas where we presented cogent, credible, and convincing evidence.
But you know, the impression of society is also important. That's why you say in law, it mustn't just be done. It must be seen to have been done so they don't lose faith in the judiciary.
I agree with you absolutely.
He spoke about the general theme. He suggests that it does appear as though many areas where the PDP, seem to have won elections, everything is being...
Let's be specific. Is it in Ogun State you're talking about, all over Nigeria?
Ogun State, all over Nigeria.
Let's start with Ogun State. As for assembly elections, as of rep election in Ogun Senatorial District, Waterside, Ijebu North, and Ubui's federal constituency, the petition decided that the election should be run. Okay? If in other federal constituency where we have won, your candidate did not go to court to challenge the victory, or your candidate went to court to challenge the victory, and the way you have made a poor attempt to prove your case at the tribunal is the way your candidate in House of Reps has also done, you will fail.
In Ogun State?
In Ogun State. Let me also go further, so that it doesn't appear as if, oh, why is it that PDP are losing and APC are winning? The truth of the matter is that in Ogun State, if a House of Assembly candidate feels he has a very bad case and he has not gone to court, you can't blame us for that. If you go to court, you present your case in a way that you have not provided cogent, credible, and convincing evidence. How do you go about that? All over Nigeria, PDP is doing a very poor job of being in opposition. Barely 5 months.
Well, in the courts, tribunal,
all over. Even the way they react to issues. Now, I read that there is a judicial gang up against us. For goodness sake, can't they just be fair to the judiciary? Where will judiciary gang up against anybody? And they are forgetting that our courts are hierarchical in nature. If you have lost at the tribunal and you have disparaged the judiciary and you go to the court of session and you win, what will you say?
But you know, part of the reason why they bring up all of this is, for instance, many were a little surprised, non-lawyers now, in Rivers, where they gave a judgment on a Saturday, and then changing chairman or the head of the tribunal before the verdict was delivered. And then you also see, in cases maybe Akwa Ibom, even Rivers too, where elections where you have a rerun, the governor is still in place, and so they thought, look, this is a little different.
Let me say this. I find it awkward that a tribunal will order a rerun in certain parts of the state and will not make consequential order ordering the governor to vacate the seat. I'm not going to disparage or criticize any judge, but I'm unable to agree with that judgment to the extent that once you declare that an election has not been conducted in substantial compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act, or that there were substantial irregularities, anybody who has been declared governor on the basis of such an election ought to be asked to step aside. I do not agree with that part. A consequential order must have been made. Again, tribunals would deliver judgment on the basis of each petition that you have presented to them. The petition in Rivers State will be different from the petition in Delta State. Just as the petition in Delta State will also, look.
Yeah, but these guys are not new in politics. These are people who've been winning the elections before now. So how come all of a sudden they don't know how to present their cases?
No, you know the problem. They've been used, with due respect to them, they've been used to winning elections by any means possible. And therefore, they are not at home with how to prepare petitions. We, on the other side, have been in opposition for 16 years. We have become veterans on how to prepare petitions. If you wake me up today, by virtue of the fact that I'm a lawyer, I contested the election in 2007, the worst election in the history of this country. And I can say this publicly. Justice Samani said that my petition was the best prepared petition in 2007 in the tribunal in Ogun State, yet I lost. So we have mastered the art of preparing petitions. And though not all lawyers are versed in how to prepare and present cases at election.
So what was the logic?